Here is the exact DeepSeek business model that every AI agency needs to implement ASAP, and here's why. First things first, if you don't even know what DeepSeek is, it's a Chinese-made AI model, specifically a chatbot, that has been going crazy in the news. If you're, watching, keeping up with the news, if you're on Twitter, you've definitely heard about it. And the reason why it's been going so crazy is because China literally made a chatbot, their version of ChatGPT, for a fraction of the price, a fraction of the speed, and they created with, crazy amounts of efficiency, which these companies like OpenAI and these US companies can't do on the level that they're doing it. Okay, and so this literally cost over a loss of $1 trillion in the US stock market and has just been going crazy. So why has DeepSeek been causing so much noise? First things first, and how they've been able to do this essentially. First things first, necessity is the mother of invention. The US has regulations against China that restrict them from getting the best GPU chips. If you don't know what the role of GPU chips are in the creation of AI, it essentially powers the AI. Nvidia, the top company, creates these chips and gives it to companies like Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, and these chips are put into large data centers, data clusters that power the AI. Okay, and so these chips, the US has restrictions against China that stops them from getting the NVIDIA H100s, which is the best chip that we use here in the US. So DeepSeek had to use the less powerful NVIDIA H800 chips. And due to the strict boundaries that DeepSeek had to work with, then DeepSeek researchers were forced to innovate and optimize for maximum efficiency, which they did well on. And so due to this, AI research teams have been able to open their eyes to what's possible with much less capital. Since the biggest AI companies in America have hundreds of millions of dollars of resources, they aren't put in a position where they need to innovate. DeepSeek literally had their back against the wall and they were forced to innovate, in which they eventually did. And so that's the first reason. The next reason is speed and efficiency. What took Google and OpenAI multiple years and hundreds of millions of dollars literally took DeepSeek 2 months and less than $6 million, $5.576 million to be exact. And DeepSeek used 2,048 NVIDIA H800s, or which is what they claim, but if that's the truth or not, who knows? Which is essentially, this number is equal to about 1,500 NVIDIA H100s, which are the more powerful chips. And so these companies don't disclose the exact amount of chips they're using, so it's speculated that this number right here is 20 to 30x lower, 20 to 30 times lower amount of GPUs that OpenAI trained GPT-4 on. Okay, and so they use their chips way more efficiently than these other big companies like OpenAI. And so, DeepSeek used a process called distillation to train its models efficiently. Distillation is a process where a smaller model is trained on the outputs of a larger model. It's a student and master type of scenario. And so it is very clear that DeepSeek used ChatGPT in the distillation process. The ethicality of this is still being debated due to the fact that many people consider it to be copying. And so, there's been a lot of screenshots and a lot of videos of people asking, what model are you, to DeepSeek? And it literally answers with ChatGPT. Okay, so it's DeepSeek has been trained on ChatGPT, the answers of ChatGPT so much to the point where sometimes it'll say that it is ChatGPT. And Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, basically said that it's easy to copy things, it's hard to build things from scratch. Okay, and so there are some debates about using distillation, but to be fair, even OpenAI, they're not the most innocent. They've been caught, like the scenario with Scarlett Johansson where they used her voice even when she said no. So, there's no good and bad guys. It's a gray area. There's just gray areas. And so the next reason is it outperforms other models. So DeepSeek's performance across many benchmarks and subjects like coding, language, math, etc. either excels or is on par with models like GPT-4. And this is extremely impressive yet again due to the limited resources they operated with compared to the popular large language models made in the US. And so DeepSeek's R1 model went toe-to-toe with OpenAI's ChatGPT O1 model in different subjects like coding, math, language, and it was either on par with O1 or or outperformed it, which is crazy considering how little resources and how little time they created R1 compared to ChatGPT O1, which is just nuts. And so the last reason is the global AI race. Okay, the whole USA versus China. Eric Schmidt, he previously said, and he's the former CEO of Google, if you don't know who he is, he previously said that China was 2 to 3 years behind the US when it came to AI. Now he is saying that they have caught up. Okay, and so after DeepSeek released R1, Eric Schmidt changed his mind and he's saying that China has now caught up with US in the AI race. And many of the biggest tech CEOs like Elon Musk have stated the importance of making sure that other countries like China do not have a monopoly when it comes to AI. And DeepSeek is currently the best open source model, which means that all the American developers are building on top of it, which can be dangerous because it means DeepSeek owns the ecosystem and controls it. And this is a huge shift in power dynamics in the AI race. And there's a whole debate going on against open versus closed source. That's a whole separate topic for another video. But DeepSeek is open source, which is another crazy thing. And all these people are able to build on top of it. But if DeepSeek owns the ecosystem, the mind share, then they have a lot of control when it comes to the power dynamics. And so DeepSeek was a huge wake-up call for tech companies in the US. When it comes to the relationship between the US and China, many questions are circulating when it comes to things like regulations, chips, energy, etc. Some are even speculating that a Cold War could be near because the US is currently the leader and China wants to take its spot. Okay, and so these are the main reasons, the main 4 reasons as to why DeepSeek caused such a crazy, fluctuation in the stock market and why it has been going crazy in the news. And so, DeepSeek was able to deliver a better product than the other biggest AI companies for faster and cheaper. And it all comes back to the value equation. Are you able to offer them the dream outcome with a high perceived likelihood of achievement with a fast time delay or a small time delay with low effort and sacrifice? And this is exactly what DeepSeek did. The logistics of their value proposition was so good that it made the US question why we were investing large sums of money into AI and into these GPUs and these infrastructures when you can get the same result for only a fraction of the price. And this resulted in a $1 trillion being wiped out from the US stock market, which is insane. Specifically, Nvidia stock decreased by a substantial amount, and it's all due to DeepSeek and proving that you don't need as many GPUs as we previously thought was needed. And so how can AI agencies and online service providers replicate exactly what DeepSeek did? Well, first thing you have to understand is that logical value proposition is way better than selling with emotion. Everyone says sell with emotion, do these tactics to, make them feel emotional. But here's the thing, if you listen to lots of sales training, they're going to give you sales tactics that rely on emotional selling. Okay, but the truth is that emotional selling becomes less effective as you sell to higher net worth individuals. And in the B2B space, the best type of selling is having a clear value proposition that you communicate to the prospect, basically selling with logic. And this is the reason why everyone now knows about DeepSeek. They provided the same/better value as the other large AI companies, but did it faster and more efficiently. When it comes to selling AI offers, your offer should have minimum one of these 3 following characteristics to improve your value proposition. 1, it either cuts costs for the business. 2, it makes things quicker for the business. And 3, it increases the quality of specific things for the business. Okay, and so the second reason is resourcefulness. As an entrepreneur, your superpower should be resourcefulness. Making the best of what limited resources you have isn't always the prettiest situation, but sometimes it's necessary. And this is exactly the situation that the DeepSeek research team was put in due to the constraints on resources like chips, money, etc. And nowadays, the barrier to entry starting a business is lower than ever. All you need is a few $100 and a laptop, and you have everything you need to create generational wealth. And due to the low barrier to starting a business, it means there's more competition than ever. It's easier to start a business, meaning more people are going to start businesses. And so the truth is, low barrier or easy opportunities are an illusion. If the opportunity is easy to get into, that means it's going to be more competition, which means it's eventually going to be harder to make money. It's going to be harder to create wealth and get rich. While on the other hand, the harder the opportunity, the less competition that's going to be partaking in it, which means it's going to be easier down the road to make money. Okay, and so next time you see someone, talking about selling courses or, starting digital products or some easy bullshit, remember, if it's easy, there's gonna be more competition and it's gonna be harder to make money. Okay, so always get into the higher barrier entry opportunities, the harder opportunities. And so the last reason is do not reinvent the wheel. DeepSeek didn't try to come up with a new type of AI that has never been thought of before. They took what was already working and did it faster, cheaper, and more efficiently than others. And when it comes to selling AI services, specifically choosing your market and offer, you don't have to try to do something that nobody else has ever done before. Matter of fact, if you're in a market where there's absolutely no competition, it is probably a good indicator that there isn't much that the market has to offer. And so you want to make sure that there are at least some sharks in your market who are eating. And so analyze what others are selling and think of ways you can do something similar but better. Either deliver it faster, make it more appealing however you can. Do not try to create some new crazy thing that has never been thought of before, because it's risky. And so that is how you replicate exactly what DeepSeek did. And so if you'd like to learn more about how we are scaling AI agencies, join the free AI scaling specialist community. It's the first link in the description, and I'll see you on the inside.